want to read from you a definition out of the dictionary. Wrong side, there you go. Self-fulfilling. It's when something is becoming real or true by virtue of having been predicted or expected. And that's what I think over-defensiveness leads to. It leads to its own self-prophecy, or self-fulfilling prophecy. A self-fulfilling prophecy is basically that. It started out, the word referring to people who had prophecies, and prophecies came about without supernatural causes like they thought it would, but by virtue of them believing the prophecy would come true. And there's an expanded version of it now, which is one you heard now, of expecting something to happen and then getting ready for it, and then it happening because of your belief and your actions surrounding it. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what happens with over-defensive people is over-defensive people seem to and this view of the world, that the world is full of jerks everywhere. Everyone's trying to be a jerk to them, and they're always on the lookout, you know, like binoculars or something, for who's the jerk. They're always on the lookout for any way in which someone's trying to be a jerk to them. So they're over-defensive. That's why when I heard on the show, the reality TV show host was like, I won't take any crap from you, and you won't take any crap from me. That's signs of a over-defensive person. So the second someone says that, I'd already be very worried that they're going to be yelling pretty soon, because the problem with over-defensive people is because they're looking for threats. They're looking for any way in which someone's being a jerk or threatening their machismo. Machismo has a lot to do with over-defensiveness, by the way. I think but what happens is that they'll end up reacting to people who maybe was a little out of line, but not that much, or they'll overreact, or they'll act as if certain actions are signs that someone's been a jerk to them when it's not really. They weren't really being a jerk. So what happens is they'll overreact to something. And the thing is that if you have several over-defensive people next in the same environment, what will happen is that they'll start to interact, and one of them will just, if you're not an over-defensive person, it'll just appear that they're just started yelling at each other, and you don't really know why. It's because one thought that the other one was being a jerk, but the other one wasn't trying to be a jerk. But now the other one thinks that the other one's being a jerk for thinking that the first person was a jerk. Anyway, they think that the other person's being a jerk and initiating the crap giving. So now they're yelling at each other because they're over defensive and tough. They're not really tough. They're stupid. Because they're bringing the conflict on themselves. I think this is a big source of conflict. I know there are jerks in the world, but not everyone is a jerk. And that most of the conflicts I've seen in real life, and most of the conflicts I've seen on the internet, it was not a matter of someone was a jerk to another person and the other one was just defending their honor by yelling and attacking back. What I usually see most of the time is that people overreact to the slightest slight. Like, they overreact to everything. They're just they're not looking for a fight, but they think they're looking for any way in which their status or social role is being threatened by anyone. So the end result is that they'll just be very combative and belligerent all the time. But so that's the funny thing about the over-defensive self-fulfilling prophecy, is that these people are trying to defend themselves against jerks, but they're so over-defensive that they become the jerk. That's it, really.